The nation's movie theaters came in for heavy criticism today. Not what's playing, but what's cooking. Chances are the popcorn at the snack counter is loaded with fat and calories, and that's before they pour on the butter. Correspondent Bob Orr has the popcorn plot.
Popcorn. It's as much a part of the movies as cowboys, romance, and cops and robbers. But today, moviegoers were put on notice.
As far as fat and heart disease are concerned, movie theater popcorn is certainly one of the single worst foods you can buy.
Oh, I don't believe it.
The Center for Science in the Public Interest says believe it. When it comes to fat, a small bag of unbuttered popcorn has as much as 4 hot dogs, and a large buttered bucket equals 15 hot dogs. The problem is not the popcorn itself, but how it's prepared. The study found 70% of all theaters tested still popping with high-fat coconut oil.
I think it was wrong-headed to spearhead this whole movement to take coconut oil out of the popcorn in the theater. I mean, it was wrong-headed to put coconut oil in there in the first place when you had a perfectly good product, which is butter, and it tastes a lot better. But putting the coconut oil in there, I mean, it's a saturated fat, but it's a good kind of saturated fat. It's got lauric acid in it, which is a good sort of immune-enhancing saturated fat. I mean, there's nothing in the world wrong with coconut oil. It's a good saturated fat that has all the properties that you want in a saturated fat for cooking purposes, but because it was a saturated fat, they initiated this movement to get that taken out of the popcorn in the theaters.
Coconut oil is a wonderful fat, has some very interesting properties that make it very useful fat for people trying to lose weight. Very useful fat for cancer. Very useful fat for thyroid conditions. You know, the areas of the world where people use coconut oil have the lowest rates of cancer and heart disease in the world. It was competing. They wanted the movie theaters to use partially hydrogenated soybean oil instead of coconut oil, or instead of palm oil. So they invented this, you know, they accused coconut oil and palm oil of crimes they didn't commit.
And what does it get replaced with? Trans fats that are much worse.
Americans were getting more and more interested in their health, and the industry realized it could not promote corn oil as being healthy, because it was obviously not. They couldn't go back to promoting saturates because they'd spent 50 years demonizing saturates, so the only thing they could do at that point was promote monounsaturated. And that's when you started hearing about the wonderful Mediterranean diet, and they're healthy because they use olive oil. Well, the Mediterranean diet, and I was a student in southern France, and I can tell you that the Mediterranean diet is mostly organ meats. It's pâté, and cheese. You know, a lot of saturated fat there. But they were saying it was because of the olive oil. The problem was there was not enough olive oil in the world to use in processed food, and olive oil, like animal fats, is expensive. So they needed another monounsaturated fat, and that's when they came up with canola oil, which is basically rapeseed oil.
Traditional. I was going to say that you don't pluck canolas off the trees.
No, it's from the mustard family, and it's basically rapeseed oil that was genetically manipulated to get rid of certain components they thought were unhealthy. And it's grown a lot in Canada, so they named it after Canada. They really didn't think that the public would like to buy rapeseed oil, and so they named it canola oil. Canola oil was immediately promoted as being heart healthy. I thought, this is a great oil for the heart. It's low in saturated fat, has tons of monounsaturated, and as an added bonus, it has 10% omega-3 fatty acids. Perfect heart healthy oil. The problem was when they fed this oil to rats, they developed heart lesions, their platelets got sticky, they developed vitamin E deficiency, and the stroke-prone rats basically died. So it was not a heart-healthy oil, but that's not the message that you're getting.
No.
Yeah. It's an oil that fits the phony theory. The facts be damned, you know, it fits the theory, and it's cheap. It was promoted as being healthy, and now it's filtered down into the whole food supply.
We're hoping the theater industry will return popcorn to what it could be, a delicious, healthy snack.